show by way of a special inquiry by the House as the House, so that we pronounce ourselves on that matter. This is important, Madam Speaker, because while the Honorable Gachagua went to court and sought to stop these whole processes, the court did not find merit in that. And the court is desirous of going to the logical conclusion, including the declaration of unfitness to hold office. To preempt that, the Honorable Gachagua has now withdrawn his petition. Two things. One, I want to urge this House, through its lawyers, to insist to the court to go to the merit of that matter. We want the court to declare whether Parliament was wrong or not, including fitness to hold office. But two, Madam Speaker, I think at the same time, I think we need to re-examine that very matter. I want to say, Madam Speaker, that the NCIC is a body that was established for these very purposes. I have served as a commissioner. I never saw a day when anybody dared the commission in defiance of a summons. I think that is the height of impunity. If we were to go there, then we will no longer have a country, because we are all capable of saying a lot of bad things. I want to urge the NCIC to come of age and do what it needs to do. I want to urge that the NCIC must be shown to bite. Just 1 minute, Madam Speaker. You know, the Honorable Gachagua cannot say that I will not attend because the others who have uttered things that they've not been summoned. Anyone who says such things should be summoned. But in law, you cannot say that I am not guilty because Otiedamon is also guilty. No, guilt is personal. Accept your own guilt and then let the others be dealt with. Just the way you cannot confess on behalf of the others. I want to say lastly, Madam Speaker, that this matter is so serious that it should not be left at the level of a general discussion as we are doing it. It must be concretized, because we found regarding Gachagua unfit to hold office. It is not just the court that can do that. Even a House of Parliament can do that, with the consequence that you cannot hold any other public office. I so submit, Madam Speaker.
Okay. Honorable Nyamita.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to also support this motion by Honorable Jeanette. Madam Speaker, where I come from, particularly in my constituency, we have families that buried bodies without heads. Madam Speaker, in my region, there are families that buried heads without their bodies. And yet in the same region, Madam Speaker, there are families that are yet to account for their loved ones. There are people whose children were butchered as they watched in Naivasha. There are people who have not recovered from what happened in 2007. Some had lived in certain regions all their lives, gotten their children, established businesses, and had their life all going very well. But because of the post-election violence, Madam Speaker, of 2007, they have never known home, because even when they went back to their homes, they found they had no land, they had nowhere to settle. Madam Speaker, today we have IDPs who are yet even to be compensated. They have even petitioned this particular House that because of the actions that happened in 2007, they need to be compensated. That hasn't happened. Madam Speaker, in this country, different communities live in different parts of the country. And I actually dare say that the community where the former deputy president comes from, members of his community are all over the country, in different parts of this country. They have established businesses there, they have established families there, they are running their lives from those particular areas. That a leader like that can come and say that whatever happened in 2007, 2008 is like a Christmas party. To imagine that such a leader would want to be elected and that we are going to have many other Christmases with such an individual. I think in this particular House, Madam Speaker, we have never felt vindicated. We feel vindicated that the action we took to impeach the mistake of a deputy president that we had, we feel completely vindicated. Even if we were to rewind time, we would still do the same. Madam Speaker, as if that is not enough, subsequent statements from this very gentleman, like over the last weekend, he is now almost dictating the uniform, even the dress code of the people from his region. He is dictating who you are speaking to. He is going to dictate which church you are going to. He is going to dictate which car you are going to drive. He is going to dictate what food. Madam Speaker, I just want to tell Kenyans that no one should listen to Rigathi Gachagua. He is not only dangerous to this country, he is even dangerous to himself. In fact, part of the allegations when they were brought here to the assembly were issues to do with him having grabbed property from his family. We feel vindicated. I sympathize with the people that are, every other weekend behind this gentleman and saying that this is a leader we want for this country. I can tell you, the current president might have his own issues. And I dare say that the president that we have now will not solve all our problems, even if we gave him 15 years. But he's putting us on the right path to how our problems in these nations are actually going to be resolved. I want to condemn in the strongest terms, and I want to call upon the police every single day, including yesterday, when Rigathi Gachagua says that the president has set up a killer squad, it means he knows. He should be called to record a statement. He is not above the law, Madam Speaker. He is not above the law. In fact, I want to ask the leadership of this House, through you, Madam Speaker, that we call the Inspector General of Police to explain to us why is it that one Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua has not recorded a statement and continues to make insightful statements across this nation. I submit and I support.
The Honorable Hamed Abdisirat.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to join this debate by condemning the utterances of the former Deputy President. Madam Speaker, it's a known fact that the Deputy President was impeached after he violated the Constitution of this country. We thought we have stopped this, reckless person, but unfortunately, he has become more dangerous. This House has found that he was unfit to hold any office. But now we're also seeing he's unfit to live with the public and he needs to be behind bars. We have laws in this, unfortunately, our laws in this country is applied selectively. If a small person commits small crimes, they are brutally arrested and charged. But when a figure, a leader, let me say a reckless leader, breaks the laws of this country, they are not taken to account for their actions. And that's unfair. Small crimes can be forgiven. But when somebody who calls himself a leader tries to blow off this country, tries to ban our country, he must be stopped. And I'm appealing to our security agencies to arrest this gentleman and take him to court. I know some guys are fearing that maybe his community or this and that will bring something. We don't care. Kenyans are 42 communities in this country. And the law should be, applied the way it is, fair and square. Mine is to implore you, this House and the government, to take action before we lose our country. We have history of having virus in this country in the 2027. And it's known that we almost lost, lost our country. We lost lives, we lost businesses and properties. Somebody is daring us that he's going to take us there because he wants to lead us through violence. We will not accept that. Elections is democracy in this country. You can win an election using the right processes, but we will not allow bloodshed and anarchy to win an election. It's not acceptable, and it cannot be allowed. Finally, Madam Speaker, if we allow people to go away with, such heinous crimes, what are we going to, show our youth? We are complaining about Gen Zs and others who are taking laws on their own hands. But when an old man is allowed to go away with such crimes, then we are the ones who are, taking this to them. Please, there is no other action other than arresting Rigathi Gachagua. He is unfit to hold any office, and he is even more unfit to stay with the public. Thank you very much.
The Honorable Rindikiri.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I join my colleagues in condemning the actions, utterances, and unqualified statement by one Rigathi Gachagua. Mr. Speaker, this country, courtesy of our citizens, gave Gachagua an opportunity to serve as the Deputy President of this country. For 2 years, Madam Speaker, Gachagua never outed anyone to support the government or to execute on behalf of the presidency and the people of Kenya any developmental activity. Mr. Speaker, what Gachagua is known for is only one, talking about Mlima. Talking about Mlima. That has been his speech for 2 years. Mr. Gachagua is known for amassing wealth for 2 years. He never spoke about the poor of his country. He never stood to prosecute matters relating to our children. He never took time to execute any matter to do with our mothers. He never took time to execute any matters to do with the whole members of this country. Mr. Speaker, now this man was impeached, and the only thing that he can do is continuously insult people. Mr. Speaker, Gachagua's history on the media is insulting the president. Madam Speaker, Gachagua's statement on the media is insulting members of parliament. Madam Speaker, Gachagua's statement is insulting the same mothers who gave birth to him. That whatever empowerment that we are doing, we are just spending money without taking consideration of his views. Madam Speaker, this man is so selfish that we know for the time that he was in government, his activities were only to purchase hotels, to purchase land, to purchase expensive things. That was he has been doing. Now the tap has been closed. Mr. Speaker, we cannot allow him to turn this country into war just because it's okay. Madam Speaker.
Members, why are you raising your hands? Use your cards. Use your cards. Continue, Honorable Rindikiri.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The honour member is one of the followers, one of the battalion that is insulting Kenyans everywhere. Madam Speaker, today you notice that Mr. Gachagua is known for organizing criminal activities. Madam Speaker, we know for sure this man is the one who organized the the what is circulating in the media today, that one honorable member of parliament, Madam Speaker, has been hijacked, has been abducted. Yet he was with him an hour before that. When the Madam Speaker, he is known to run to hospital, even when there was a matter of impeachment. Madam Speaker is the chief advisor of Honorable Kombodi. When Honorable Kombodi was insulting us, saying that we have been given money. Madam Speaker, we must insist this man at whatever cost. Madam Speaker, he is teaching Kenyan bad manners because he is a comfortable man. He is one man who should not be encouraged in this country to continue doing what he is doing. Mr. Speaker, we have seen even he has some battalions in Meru. People who are given an opportunity to serve this country, who failed, who were impeached. Somehow they survived. But now they are teaming up together. People who have failed are the people that he is managing this country, his politics with. Mr. Speaker, we have seen with Mutuli, who is a failure. We have seen Ritoli, who is a failure. We have seen all other failures, who are the ones who are trying to manage this country. We will not accept this kind of politics in this land. Let Kenyans be given the freedom to operate, to manage business, to manage development, and we have no time for that kind of a person. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I think as I listen to the discussions from my colleagues, we are discussing as if it's just bare facts. What we are discussing is crimes that have been committed by the former Deputy President. His crime are offenses that are set out in the National Cohesion and Integration Commission Act. And we even have past history where people have made utterances that were assumed to have been wrong and they were not even guilty, yet they were arrested. So my issue here is, I'm also calling upon the chairperson of NCIC, Reverend Kobia. Reverend Kobia must act and not allow people to get over it. Because if we remember, prior to the 2022 elections, I remember 300 police officers were sent to Uasin County to arrest Honorable Oscar Sudi for making remarks that were not even hitting to the threshold of the National Commission and Integration Act. It was the same Reverend Kobia. We expect him to act. Similarly, we remember that Honorable Linturi again made some remarks and he was picked at night. Yes, he mentioned that word in Uasin Gishu, and he was picked swiftly by the by the police and ferried to Nairobi at night for arrest. The same thing happened to Oscar Sudi. Why is it that the former Deputy President has not been arrested? In fact, this House must hold the National Cohesion and Integration Commission to account, because they cannot have double standards when it comes to deal with people. You need to read the National Cohesion and Integration Act. And therefore, that is what we must say. And we, again, speaking as Member of Parliament for Uasin Gishu County, which bore the brunt of the post-election violence, we cannot allow anyone to mention that again. We made peace. The pastors and the old men had a meeting in Korusoi. That matter was settled, and we promised ourselves that we shall never mention it again. So on behalf of the people of Uasin Gishu County, we are very offended by the remarks of the former Deputy President. Because in fact, statements have been issued by members of Uasin Gishu County